Hello everyone, good morning to all. Today I am going to discuss a new chapter, that is Sale of Goods Act. The Sale of Goods Act is basically a law that deals with sale of goods in India. It came into existence on 1st July 1930. It is applicable all over India except Jammu and Kashmir. So, the Sale of Goods Act, that is a separate act apart from the Indian Contract Act. This act was established for sale of goods in India, and this act was established in the year 1930, 1st July. This sale of goods is applicable to whole of India except Jammu and Kashmir. So, what is sale of goods? When the right of ownership in the goods is transferred from the seller to the buyer, it is called as a sale of goods. So, the ownership or the right of ownership, when it is transferred from the hands of the seller to the hands of the buyer, in that case that is called as sale of goods. This is a diagram. This shows that the seller sells the goods to the buyer. That means the buyer purchases the goods from the seller. So, it is a case of a sale, or where there is a sale, that means the ownership is transferred from the hands of the seller to the hands of the buyer. So, one example is given here. If Pritish sells his musical instrument to Saurav for a sum of rupees 15,000, this transaction is called as a sale. So, there are two persons, one is Pritish, another one is Saurav. Pritish sells his musical instrument, this is a good. So, that was sale for a sum of rupees 15,000, that means the price must be paid at the time of a purchase or during the time of a sale of a goods. So, when the ownership is transferred from the hands of the seller, that means here Pritish is called as the seller and Saurav is called as the buyer. So, the ownership is transferred from the hands of the Pritish to the hands of the Saurav, and that is a sum of rupees 15,000. So, that is a case of a sale. Since the ownership of a musical instrument is transferred from Pritish to Saurav, that is called as a sale. So, what are the different types of a sale of a goods? Sale, that is two types, one is your absolute sale, second one is your conditional sale. So, now we are going to discuss what is absolute sale, where the transfer of ownership in the goods is immediately transferred from the seller to the buyer. So, absolute sale is treated as complete sale, that means ownership is immediately transferred during the time of sale from the hands of the seller to the hands of the buyer. The second one is conditional sale, where the transfer of ownership in the goods shall take place in future or on the fulfillment of certain condition. So, conditional sale, it is otherwise called as agreement to sell, that means the sale is made, but the ownership is not transferred at present, but that will be transferred at future, or subject to fulfillment of certain condition the ownership is transferred. That is why it is called as conditional sale or agreement to sell. What is contract of sale? This is mentioned under section 4 of the Sale of Goods Act 1930. A contract of sale of goods is a contract where the seller transfer or agrees to transfer the property in goods to a buyer for a price. So, as it is called as contract, that means there is a relationship made between two parties, that means the seller and the buyer. So, this is mentioned under section 4 of the Sale of Goods Act 1930. So, that means where a contract is made between the buyer and the seller, and a seller transfer or agrees to transfer the property in the goods in consideration of a price. That means the sale means there is transfer of ownership or transfer of goods, and the transfer is made from the hands of the seller to the hands of the buyer, and the sale is made in consideration of a price. There are various essentials of sale of goods. One is your valid contract, second one is bilateral contract, third one is your transfer of ownership, fourth one is your goods, and fifth one is your price. These are the some of the essential elements of contract of sale of goods. We will discuss one by one. So, the first essential element relating to contract of sale, that is called as valid contract. So, to be a valid contract, there must be certain essential element which we have already discussed as per section 10 of the Indian Contract Act. That means there must be offer, there must be acceptance, legal relationship, capacity of parties, free consent, lawful object, lawful consideration, etc. So what are the essential elements that are mentioned under section 10 of the Indian Contract Act? To be a valid contract, all the essential element of a valid contract must be satisfied in case of a sale of a goods. That means where there is a sale of a goods, the seller and buyer must be competent to contract. There must be offer, there must be acceptance, there must be certain consideration. These are the some of the elements that must have to be satisfied. Otherwise, that is not called as a valid sale. Second essential element, that is bilateral contract. That means there must be at least two parties, the seller and the buyer. So to be a valid sale, there must be two parties, one who is called as the seller and another one who is called as the buyer. So seller means the person who sells the goods and buyer means the person who buys the goods. The third one is transfer of ownership. There should be immediate transfer or an agreement to transfer the ownership of goods sold. So when the sale is made, the seller transfer or agrees to transfer the goods to the buyer. So in that case, the ownership must be transferred. So when there is a complete sale, that is immediately the ownership is transferred from the hands of the seller to the hands of the buyer, and where there is agreement to sell, that means ownership will take transferred at a future date subject to fulfillment of certain conditions. The next essential element, that is price. A price in money should be paid or promised. Where there is no money consideration, the transaction is not a contract of sale. So to be a valid sale, that must be ownership of goods must be transferred from one hand to the other, and as soon as the ownership is transferred or agrees to transfer at a future date subject to fulfillment of certain condition, sale of goods means there must be price consideration. Price or money must have been paid by the buyer to the seller immediately or at a certain future date subject to fulfillment of a certain condition. If there is no price consideration, in that case there is no sale. The next one is goods. Goods means every kind of a movable property other than actionable claims and a money. So sale means sale of a goods must be taken into consideration. If there is no goods, or that means there is no movable property, in that case the goods cannot be transferred, and in that case there is no sale. So sale means the sale of a only movable property other than actionable claim. There are certain examples. One is copyright, musical instrument, cement, patent, stock, share, etc. When these are transferred from one hand to the other, that means from the hands of the seller to the hands of the buyer, then in that case that is called as a goods, or that is called as a complete sale. So next we are going to discuss what is goods. When there is a sale, sale means sale of a goods must take place. So what are the different kinds of goods? We take into consideration goods is of three types. One is your existing goods, second one is your future goods, third one is your contingent goods. So we will discuss one by one. What is existing goods? Goods owned and possessed by the seller at the time of making the contract of sale are called as a goods. That means when seller possessed certain amount of goods and there is a contract made for sale of goods from the hands of the seller to the hands of the buyer, then immediately the seller transfer the goods to the buyer, and that goods is called as a existing goods. There is one example here, it is given. If Ramesh sells his bike to Suresh believing to be in good condition, but the bike is actually not in good condition, no contract will arise. So here Ramesh agrees to sell his bike to Suresh and believe that the bike is in good condition, but later on the bike it was thinks that, or it was prevailed that the bike was not in good condition, and in that case there will be no sales, or the contract will not arise between Ramesh and Suresh. So next we are going to discuss what are the different types of existing goods. Existing goods is of three types. One is your specific goods, second one is your ascertained goods, third one is your unascertained goods. So now we are going to discuss what is specific goods, what is ascertained, and what is unascertained goods. So specific goods are those goods which are identified and agreed upon at the time of making the contract of a sale. So when contract is made during the time of a sale, the goods must have been specified. In that case, that goods is known as existing goods. So it is known as the goods which are already specified during the time of a sale between the seller and a buyer. So next we are going to discuss what is ascertained goods. It means goods identified in accordance with the agreement after the contract of sale is made. So when contract is made or contract of sale is made between buyer and seller, in that case after contract is made, the goods must have been identified or ascertained, and it is known as ascertained goods. There is one example. If there is going to be a sale of 25 chairs for an office out of 100 chairs of the same design and quality, then 25 chairs are known as ascertained goods. That means there is 100 chairs of a particular design and quality, and out of that 100 chairs, the sale of 25 chairs must have been made. So this 25 chair is ascertained out of 100 chairs. So this is known as ascertained goods. Next, unascertained goods. What is that? It means goods that are defined by description or by sample. When the goods are not separately identified or ascertained at the time of making a contract of sale, are known as unascertained goods. That means here the goods are not ascertained or that is not identified. That's why it is called as unascertained goods. Taking into consideration the previous example, out of 100 chairs, 25 chairs is going to sell or that is already ascertained for sale. So that 25 chair is known as ascertained goods, but the total 100 chair is known as unascertained goods because that is not identified or that is not ascertained. So next we are going to discuss what is future goods. It means goods to be manufactured or produced by the seller after making the contract of a sale. So when contract is made, after contract made or contract of sale is made, the goods is going to sell from the hands of the seller to the hands of the buyer. That's why it is called as a future goods. A contract to sell oil not yet pressed from seeds in his possession is a contract for sale of a future goods. That means the oil is not produced from the seeds. So that's why it will be or it is going to produce at a future date. That's why it is called as a, the oil is called as a future goods. Next, contingent goods. These are the goods the acquisition of which by the seller depends upon contingency, which may or may not happen. So contingency means which may or may not happen. We cannot predict what will happen in future. So where there is a contingent contract made between two parties or sale of a goods relating to contingency made, in that case that is known as contingent goods. One example, Ram agrees to sell 100 boxes of apple to Sam provided the lorry carrying the apple reaches from Kashmir safely. So when the lorry take the apples from Kashmir and it will safely reach at the particular place, then there will be sale take place. So the lorry may take the apple from Kashmir or may not take the apple from Kashmir, or it will, whether that will reach to the particular destination we cannot predict, as that depends upon contingency which may or may not happen. That's why the sale of 100 boxes of apple, here it is known as contingent goods. So next we are going to discuss what is the basic difference between sale and agreement to sell. We already discussed what is sale and already discussed what is agreement to sell. Sale means absolute sale, which that means which is immediately take place or ownership immediately transfer from the seller to the buyer. But agreement to sell means the ownership is transferred at a future date subject to fulfillment of certain condition. So what is that basic difference between sale and agreement to sell, we will discuss one by one. In case of a sale, ownership transferred immediately, but in case of agreement to sell, the ownership is transferred at a some future date. So where there is sale, ownership immediately transferred, but where there is agreement to sell, ownership is not immediately transferred. The transfer of ownership is made at some future date. Sale is an executed contract, but agreement to sell is an executory contract. Executed and executory. We already discussed that in classification of a contract. Executed contract means that is completed contract, nothing is left from either side. So where there is a sale, nothing is left from the seller to the buyer. Already the goods are transferred and ownership also transferred. That's why sale is an executed contract. But executory means subject to fulfillment of certain condition that must have been completed. That's why it is called as executory contract. So agreement to sell means the ownership will be transferred at some future date subject to fulfillment of certain condition. That's why agreement to sell is an executory contract. Point number 3, in a sale, a seller can sue for price. He has all the rights of unpaid sale. But in case agreement to sell, a seller can sue for damages only, not for price. So where there is sale, the seller must sue for price from the buyer, as the ownership is immediately transferred and the goods are also immediately transferred. But where there is agreement to sell, the ownership is not immediately transferred. So a seller cannot sue for price immediately, but he can sue for damages only if it is made. Sale take place in case of existing goods usually, but agreement to sell take place in case of future goods. So where there is sale, sale immediately take place. That's why only on existing goods sale take place. But in case of agreement to sell, the transfer of ownership is made at future date. So agreement to sell it take place only for future goods. In sale, a buyer bears the risks, but in an agreement to sell, a seller bears the risks. So where there is sale, goods are transferred from seller to the buyer. Now buyer becomes the owner, so he takes all the risks, whatever the risks that have to be borne by the buyer. But in case of agreement to sell, as ownership is not transferred, the seller bears all the amount of risks. The last point, in case of a sale, the seller cannot resell the goods, but in case of agreement to sell, the seller may sell the goods since the ownership is with the sale. So this is relating to resale of goods. In case of a sale, there is no resale. That means the seller cannot resell the goods, as the ownership is transferred from seller to the buyer. Now buyer becomes the owner, so seller has no right to resell. But in case of agreement to sell, as ownership is not transferred, if subject to certain condition that is not fulfilled, the seller can resell the goods. Next we are going to discuss what is condition and what is warranty relating to the Sale of Goods Act. So that will be discussed in the next class. Have a nice day. Thank you all.